right, Grant Horvat, welcome back to the channel, my man. It's been a minute. You have been the talking point of YouTube golf for the last year, and I'm so excited to have you back on the channel. Welcome back, buddy.
Dude, thanks for having me. I think this is what, the second or third time we've done it?
Second time. Second
Second
time.
time.
But it's cool because it's almost a year exactly after the first time we did it. I think the first one we did was like mid-January. So just about a
Right.
calendar year after.
Yeah, it feels like a long time, but it also went by really quick. So
Yeah.
it's hard, man, when you wrap your mind around time, like you never know what to think. If it went by fast or it took a while. So
Dude, it feels like just yesterday, the like first couple TaylorMade videos were rolling out of like you guys at the Pro-Am down there and you guys playing all those courses in California. And then like, yeah, you blink and all of a sudden, yeah, you're at Pebble Beach and Spyglass and now we're here. It's like, it really has
yeah,
felt like it's flashed by. Has it felt like that for you?
yeah. So that pro-am that you're talking about is coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks. So
That's right.
January 24th, I'm playing in that pro-am, the Farmers Insurance.
Yeah.
So I don't know who I'm going to get paired with, but that's a pro-am that I'm really looking forward to. Because
Yeah.
I remember that one last year. We played with like Scott Stallings
Hmm.
and someone else. But yeah, those, for some reason, those are like my favorite. Like if there's anything I could do playing in those pro-ams, like you get paired with a random pro
Yeah.
and you just get to like walk down the fairway with him and interview him. And
That's cool.
Scott Stallings was amazing on camera, and Peter Malnati, like they were so cool to hang out with. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. And I feel like that was about a year ago. Yeah. It's crazy.
It is crazy, dude. And it's even crazier that like 11 months later, you had a couple more pro interactions. I know we can't talk exact details of the TaylorMade Media Day, but you definitely
Yeah.
posted some Instagram stuff. How has that process been? You guys finally got to really like get in with a lot of those like top end tour pros. Like that must have been so exciting.
Yeah, that was crazy. So that is all coming out January 9th and after. So the new driver,
Mhm.
that we like all were hitting and revealing, that's all coming out. All that content, everything's being launched on January 9th. So yeah, I've been storing them up. I got some really special ones. I'm super pumped for those.
Were you
And I
so?
also, the coolest thing was, I also got to be in a TaylorMade commercial,
Oh, cool.
which is airing on like TV when the driver releases. So that's going to be pretty cool. Never done one of those. So that was wild. Like I love cameras. Like I
Yeah.
do like seeing all like the different gear and asking my videographer Skylar. I'm like,
Mhm.
what is this? I was asking him, what the heck are we dealing with? Um, but yeah, there was just like the most camera gear I've ever seen in my whole life. It
Dude,
was crazy.
that's so cool. I mean, it leads me perfectly into my question, which is like, yeah, how have you been shocked with the level of involvement that TaylorMade has put you in with these guys and the level of access they've given you? Or like has it been like what parts of that have been like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe this, can't believe this is happening, can't believe I'm getting this opportunity. Because I think when you signed, we all were like, if TaylorMade's smart, they're going to use you guys to your fullest potential and have you guys in everything they can. But do you think that's kind of, have they gone down that path? Are you surprised with all the stuff you've been involved in?
Oh yeah, I mean, TaylorMade's been really good. I think it's been a slow process. I feel like even with TaylorMade, like a big company like that, even explaining probably to the higher up people in TaylorMade, like that this could work for the
Mhm.
company is probably not even easy. But yeah, the TaylorMade shoot that we just did was mind blowing. Yeah, it was crazy. Like everybody was there.
Mhm.
The big dog, everyone.
Mhm.
And it was just like, yeah, it was just next level. Hanging with the guys, Tommy Fleetwood, Nelly Corda, Ricky, like that was really cool. Colin Morikawa was awesome. So like
Mhm.
all of them were coming out. Um, and Micah's long drive against Rory
Yeah.
was one of the coolest videos. I mean,
I'm so excited for
so
that video.
I had a time slot that so Micah was supposed to do this long drive with Rory, and I think
Mhm.
he didn't have a ton of time with him. But during that time slot, I was supposed to be filming with Barstool, like foreplay.
Mhm.
And I told them, I'm like, guys, I cannot miss Micah going up against Rory.
Yeah.
Like, I think they understood. They're really nice
Yeah.
guys. But I was like, I cannot. And I went out to watch Micah and Rory go at it head to
Yeah.
head. And I'm serious, like watching it on the sidelines, it was the coolest thing watching Rory and Micah go at it. Because Rory like took it serious. So that's coming out on like his channel. But yeah, some really cool stuff. And like it's just been tough like holding on to the content. Because like when we
Mhm.
filmed it, like I had no idea when I was filming all these videos that we had to wait to post them until
Oh.
like, yeah, until like during the photo shoot, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like you can't release this. I think it was the day before. They're
Mhm.
like, you can't release it till this date. Um, so that was like tough. So we're
Mhm.
holding on to the content, but yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know in the years past, the embargo, because of the new clubs and all that, that Foreplay had, they had their videos always released even later in the year. They were releasing videos from the TaylorMade Media Day in like August of that following year. So
Mhm.
I think it sounds like you guys are getting an earlier window than they had, which is nice because it'll be a little more relevant. But yeah, that Micah video is like number two that I'm excited for out of that whole thing. But number one, dude, Foreplay and Tiger Woods. Do you know? I mean, I
Yeah.
know you can't share anything if you know anything, but how crazy is that? Like, just give me your reaction to
Oh
the fact that
yeah.
he's coming on YouTube for like the first time ever.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what like happened in the video, and it's gonna be crazy. Like I know like Foreplay's been over the years like getting closer with Tiger.
Hmm.
So I feel like this was maybe the year where TaylorMade was like, okay, we're gonna give you guys like Tiger. And I feel
Hmm.
like it's a smart move because like, you know, Tiger's probably not gonna be like if he doesn't know you, he's not gonna be like he is
Hmm.
with Riggs and those guys. So
Hmm.
um yeah, I heard some crazy stuff about that video. So I don't know when that's coming out either,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a success. Really, really cool stuff. And like, yeah, just being able to once again just have these players for a certain amount of times is like crazy.
As a kid who grew up in the game, like your dad was obviously teaching and you were involved in it from a really young age. There's all those cool photos of you on the range as like an even younger kid. And how has idolizing these guys, I assume, for so many years and now being kind of on almost a level playing field with them, not obviously on the golf side, but on just like, you're involved with the brand that has you both coming to this media day and you're both doing these promo shoots and you're both in this commercial. Like it must be like mind blowing experience because on every metric, you're kind of just like a tour player now with like the exposure side.
Yeah, yeah, they're treating us absolutely amazing, and like we did everything basically like the tour pros did. We were
Mm-hmm.
doing the reveal. Like we got together and did a driver reveal. Like it was really cool. But like I said, I'm keeping it very, very like broad, but it was
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say it almost feels, which I don't like. Sometimes it feels like it's normal now because
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to spend so much time around tour pros.
Mm-hmm.
But the one guy that like for sure just got like Rory, meeting Rory was like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice guy, but there's just something about like Rory
Mm-hmm.
and just like meeting him. I feel like, everybody like a lot of the other guys are just like so like Tommy Fleetwood was the nicest person. Like heart rate is like just never changes.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky's like this. Yeah, but like meeting Rory was just like that was cool. Like I actually that's the first time I think I've gotten like a little bit nervous walking up to
Mm-hmm.
something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, it is crazy and like it's still so grateful for it. Doesn't feel real.
Mm-hmm.
And but like at the end of the day, these guys are just like normal guys that are good
Yeah.
at golf.
Yep.
And like when you hang out with like Wesley and George and like Wesley's one of the PGA Tour and like we've gotten really close and these guys are just normal people that are really good at golf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're just different at golf and it's crazy because people put them on. But like Rory, I did the same thing that people do. So I
Yeah.
was I was pretty nervous.
Totally, dude. They're larger than life characters, especially because you spent so many of your young years watching them on TV. I can't imagine
Yeah.
that feeling. So, I mean, congrats, but also you have 100% earned it. Like where you are and where you've gotten to in the last, like, obviously since the beginning of your channel, but specifically in the last year, man. Like, I want to steer this back a little bit to YouTube golf. You've legitimately doubled your subscriptions essentially from last December to now. You're at just around 250 and now you are over 500,000. That is an insane growth. That's definitely bigger than any year you've had before. Like that is monumental. How has that felt? It has been such a wild ride. And like, I'm not going to just like stroke you off this whole interview, but like you are YouTube golf right now, in my opinion. You are the collaboration everyone wants. You're appearing everywhere. You're like the powerhouse, and that has really developed in the last 12 months.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think like just having a very, very close friendship with Bob and the guys there and FP and Joey, and then also like going out with Rick for a week. I feel like Skylar and we kind of had a plan. It wasn't like a verbatim plan of like, hey, we're gonna go collab with a lot of people, but I felt in my mind like I wanted to, now that I have the opportunity to go meet new people and collab and like see how they do it, I just like set out to like really go meet new people and collab. And I feel like the model worked. And I've reached a point now where I think when you collab with so many different people, you see like their audience come in different audiences, and then it's now once you get a little bit of their audience, retaining them on your YouTube channel. And yeah, I'm grateful for everybody that's like collabed with me. I think it's also a lot to do with like everybody, being nice. And I just, yeah, we've worked really, really hard on the ideas. So I think Skylar and I have like with every single video that we've posted, we've sat down and just not posted content that we don't love. And I feel like I used to just post anything. I would just go out and start filming and be like, all right, we'll think of the title, we'll think of the thumbnail after. And now there's such like a strict plan going into every video where you think about everything before you even film it. And I feel like that's the biggest game changer. But beyond the collabs, beyond anything, it's sitting down and really thinking over the concept of each video before you go and film it. And like even thinking about the thumbnail before I even step foot on the golf course is one thing that like that's taken years to, learn, I feel like.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. Like you really are, the things you do on the YouTube front are things that other creators don't do. Like the collaborations for sure obviously help you, right? In the audience exposure, whatever, but well beyond that, you could give someone all of the collaborations you had, but if they didn't have the process you have and the ideas and the ability to execute those ideas, like that's what makes the videos great. That's what makes people come back. And that's what makes people then, when you release your own video that's not a collaboration, actually engage with that video. And that's the thing I always tell people. I consult with smaller channels and bigger channels all the time. We've talked about that before. And like, I always go through the process with them. This is like information I share with anyone, that like, if you're not sitting down well before you go filming your video and coming up with the most rock solid idea possible, and then once you get the idea absolutely pinned, you come up with the title. You sit there, you grind on the title, you shrink it down below 50 characters, as few words as possible. Then you make the thumbnail. And you have the thumbnail fully done, fully etched out. So you have the idea, the thumbnail, the title, and then you go film the video. Because the amount of creators that just kind of go out and like, all right, what are we going to do today? And like film and then come back and like, it's backwards. And the way the audience sees the video is it sees the title, thumbnail, then it hears about the idea, then it watches you play. So like that's the order you should be creating it. And I think you are a unique, you and Rick probably are two of the creators that do that the best, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, your mic's hitting your zipper there.
Sorry.
I'm making it loud.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
No,
but yeah, I think, I would say that is something, like you said, it's just, it used to be different with the space. Cause I mean, even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, like there was not even near as many creators as there is right now. So anybody can make a good thumbnail. Anybody can make a good title. It's so easy. There's no barrier to enter. And it's just like, you gotta keep doing the next big thing and staying out ahead. And it drives you, like YouTube's crazy, but what you're doing is like your titles and thumbnails, like they get me to click almost every single time. Like you're very, very good at it. So it's cool to like even talk about this stuff with you. Because like, I obsess over YouTube. I love it. I think it's something that, me and Skylar sit down and talk about all the time, and we don't stop. Like the best thing about Skylar too, which a lot goes to him because he puts like it's rare you find somebody that cares as much about the content as yourself. And I feel like Skylar's cares just about as much how the content feels or how the video is doing or what we need to do next as much as I do. And like,
Mhm.
it's hard to find people like that. Like
Mhm.
as someone as invested into the process, like your channel as, Skylar. And yeah, I'm super grateful for him too, because he's worked so hard.
Mhm.
And he's like improved along the way too. So like his edits are getting better. I think the TPC video that he put together, the intro, I think all that, like I watched that, I was like, dang, like that's your best
Mhm.
one of the year.
Mhm.
You killed that. It got me hyped. And I like, we're doing a little bit of vlogging before we even get to the course to show a different side. So yeah, that's been really cool just with his work ethic and how much he cares.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely an X factor for you. I think he's extremely talented, and I think he's like a producer. Like he could fully go on and like work like in a more formal production. He's very talented. But that actually brings me to my next question. If you teased a little bit of it in foreplay, talking about potentially expanding the team in a multitude of different ways. Is that something you're looking at going forward? Because I feel like that's kind of the next way to free up more of your time, free up more Skylar's time, and be able to take the production and the quality of the videos and even the ideation process, all of those things to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's me and Skylar talk about it all the time. Because he's working his butt off.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I like to treat him and make sure he's incentivized and he's doing well. So, I don't, it's hard when you bring in a lot of people because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of more mouths to feed and then it becomes very different opinions. But I think, expanding the team, maybe one or two more people coming up is going to be something we're looking into. I don't know. We don't have like a set plan right now because we love where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're working really well together. And that's where I don't want to change it up because yes, we should have a couple people and yes, Skylar should probably be able to like get help on videos. But like I trust him right now with his process and we would just have to someone would have to come in that we would really have to almost like mold into the model
Mm-hmm.
that we've kind of created. But I mean, there's so many talented people out there, so we're always open to like a really talented person coming in that can offer something that Scott doesn't have the time to do. And yeah, that's we're definitely open to it. And we
Yeah.
want to. It's just we don't have like a direct plan what we want to do.
No, and it's one of those things where it's like obviously there's nothing that you guys are doing a poor job at, or it's not even like, you need to fix something. But the way I've always heard it told is like if you bring someone in, like for example, who their entire job is just to cut, like the initial cuts, sequencing of the video, and then do tracers, they're spending all 100% of their time on that. Like that's right now just like 25% of Skylar's time. You know what I mean? So like if you're doing anything with 100% focus versus just 25%, it's naturally you're just going to be able to do it with a bit more attention to detail. And like that doesn't matter who you are. It's just like it allows you to have certain things you're hyper focused on, or like someone who helps you on the
Right.
idea brainstorming side, whatever. So but I think it's neat. I think it's neat. You get the opportunity probably to film with guys like Rick who have kind of built that team out. And when you were out there, what kind of brainstorming did you guys have going on? What kind of like crazy,
Yeah.
I'm sure there was lots of stuff that because I know you and me are the same, man. We're cut from the same cloth with YouTube obsession. So like I'm sure you were
Yeah.
picking his brain and you were everything. Like talk to me a little bit about
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah, no, Rick and I had some long nights together. Well, that didn't come out right,
Clip that.
but Rick and I
Clip
had some,
it. Clip
yeah.
it.
No, there was like one night where Rick and I were like up till
Oh,
it was
clip
like
it.
1
Clip
a.m.
it.
It's a whole story, yeah. We were up till like 1 a.m. Looking for my luggage. That's a whole story that it would take me a long time to explain on
Yeah.
Peter's podcast, but um Rick and I, yeah, we were up till it was like 1 or 2 a.m. looking for my luggage and waiting for the police to show up. So it was a whole intense thing. But during that, like we started searching at like 9
Mhm.
till like 1 a.m. We just sat in his car and talked. And yeah, we talked about, his YouTube and like where he started, how long he's been doing it. Just like, I mean, everything under the sun. But yeah, Rick's been super open, super nice. And I really do respect what he's built because he's very like selective on what he does. Everything that I feel like Rick does is intentional.
Mhm.
He doesn't do anything just like aimlessly where he's just out of the blue. Like it's very, very intentional, everything Rick does. And I feel like that's what's made him so successful. And yeah, it was awesome going over there and hanging with him. And hopefully we do that in the future. I was watching his Bryson content was cool because I talk with Bryson a lot as well about, like his team. A lot of the guys that work for Bryson, one of them used to work for Good, and like we talk a lot, and like it's just cool to see Bryson getting into it and him filming with Rick. It's like it's really cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. I have my opinions on this, but do you see yourself as the next evolution of Rick Shiels? Not necessarily the next, but if Rick Shiels was the pioneer, are you the buccaneer? Did you learn and come after, and do you see yourself as kind of the next evolution of what he's done? Because I see you two in a similar-ish lane for sure.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I would not say that. I wouldn't say like I'm trying to like be like anybody.
No, for sure. I agree.
But I would say what Rick, I love teaching. It's not, the content's going to always come before the teaching for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to offer that content as well. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. I just feel like I love where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I think Rick will be doing this for a long time, and it's cool to see what he's doing. And like, I think everybody in the space bounces ideas off of each other. And, it's hard to say a direct evolution. I think I've always seen what Rick's doing. I've seen what everybody's doing,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of, you always monitor what everyone's doing. I feel like you'd be silly to not
Mm-hmm.
be in the know. Like there was a channel that just popped up yesterday. It's like something Theo and something golfing. I don't know if you saw it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're getting like 700,000 views, and they've only posted 2 golf videos, and they're getting it's like something and Theo golfing.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it's up on my like explore, and I'm like, what? Like who? And they're pulling 700K in like a day. It was in like a day or two. And I guess I have no idea who it is, and they only ever posted 2 videos, but I was just like, just knowing like what's happening in the space is also really, really valuable. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's something Rick's talked about a lot, is like how he knows everything that's happening in YouTube golf always. Like he's always ear to the ground, which I think is a very valuable lesson for all of us as creators. But yeah, I want to clarify, like I definitely don't see you as at all trying to be the next Rick Shiels or doing it intentionally, but I think it has definitely a compliment to your wide package that you can offer to an audience. And I see you as a creator that has the width to offer the good golf, the collaborative golf, the, more interview style stuff you're quite good at, but also has the assets of the teaching and the actual technical knowledge. And I guarantee you could do reviews if you ever wanted to. And I see you as a creator that can go really wide. And that also is, I think, a huge reason why Rick is at over 2.5 million subscribers, because he can go really wide. He can cast a massive net, whereas a lot of us are much, much more niched out to kind of one thing. And I think a huge value prop of yours is you kind of fit really well into all these different buckets.
Yeah, I think, but back to that point, I kind of just thought of it a little more too. Like, I think Rick's content is very, very different than like what we do, in a way that's like not very like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of like crossover, but I think like the vloggy style, the more behind the scenes, the raw footage, like Rick's more to the point, and he gets into the videos, and it's very professional. He's got a wonderful crew. I think that's where we're like a little different, where it's more like, sometimes we're just walking through the airport, or sometimes we're in the car, and it's like very raw. So there are different like things, but yeah, I mean, he's done a great job.
Yeah, I love that about your content too, specifically, and that's where I see it as like something that's evolving the space at least, because I think there's more audience connection that comes from being a bit more raw and vulnerable and a bit less produced at times, and allowing a bit more of your real personality to come through. And I think that's something you do really well, and I think that's part of the reason why your audience has grown so much in the last years, because people can kind of connect to you. You're a very approachable character. You're like a soft, welcoming character on, TV, if you want to say that, or YouTube or whatever. And I think people can attach to that really well. Even though you're probably playing a higher level of golf than most people, they can still relate to you, which is a tough bridge to cross, because, you're playing better golf than 99.99% of people who watch you. So I think that ability to still kind of bring them all in is unique. And I think it says a lot to your personality.
Yeah, that's been something where, I've always taken golf pretty seriously because I was playing college golf. I was playing so many tournaments. So it's cool now to like come into YouTube and know that I do have a game that I can rely on a lot of the time. I'm very streaky still, but like right now I'm playing some solid golf, and it's probably the best golf of my life recently. And it's just continued to get slowly better, which I never thought. Like when you're playing golf, you don't really think sometimes when you're in a slump that you're ever gonna get out of it, or you're gonna get better. And I remember telling my dad, like back in college, I was like, this is as good as I'll ever get. And I was like, kind of like, I feel like I was peaking. And just recently, I feel like I've gotten, like I played the other day and I just shocked myself. My putting was the best it's been. And my consistency off the tee is getting better. My body's working better through the ball. So I am still improving, which is cool to see. And like, I don't know, like I thought of the idea of like entering like doing some maybe like one Q school thing just for fun to see what I could do, or doing maybe one or two more tournaments a year. But yeah, I've definitely thought of like some different things, some little avenues to go.
Do you feel a pressure to display good golf when you play? Like, do you feel pressure stepping up to that first tee to like, it's my brand to play good golf, I have to deliver today?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't ever like, I think there's an underlying expectation when you're a better golfer that like everybody wants to see you play good. And I think like people go into different channels with a different idea. Like they know they're not going to play as well. And I think if they're coming to my channel or like George's channel, they're coming to watch good golf, or I just feel like they're not coming to watch um, me play horrible, because they can watch that plenty of other places. Um, but yeah, I try and play as good as I can. It doesn't always work out. I just got back from our honeymoon, and that was 8 days I took off of golf. And that was like the first time I've taken that many days off. So I went back to like holding the club and it felt like a spaghetti noodle. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like when I got up to the top, I couldn't feel the club. It was just like, whoa. Because I haven't taken that many days off. And I know to a lot of people probably watching, they're like, 8 days. I take months, you know? But yeah, that's how much I play. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the wedding, by the way. I want to get into the life stuff in a minute, but I want to stick just to the golf for a second. How do you feel like you're playing the best golf of your life when you're also producing the best content of your life and growing this channel? Because being a YouTuber, especially to your level, is a full-time job. And I can't imagine you're at the range 4 times a week and working on short game 4 times a week on top of your playing. Talk me through a little bit of like how that practice schedule works, if you have one, and then how do you think you're still improving so much of the game?
Yeah, I don't get to practice a lot. That is for sure. I'm really trying to get a membership at a course here in Jupiter, which we have a lot of options right now. A lot of courses are very nice in letting me come out, but I do want to have that one course where I can just go beat balls every day and just hit balls and practice short game and really push myself. But like you said, like when I'm out there filming a video, whether it's at Sawgrass or Pebble Beach, anything like that, I'm way more focused on the content, how that's coming out, and the concept of the video than I am my golf game. And maybe that's good because then it takes a back seat, and then I'm not so pressured to play well. That could be it, but also I've watched, like I said, earlier I said that I've just been somehow playing the best golf of my life, and I feel like that's just happened through my golf swing getting better. I've just watched it on camera, and it's slowly getting better every time I go out and play. And I don't know how. I really don't understand it, because like I look at my swing on video every day, and I just don't understand why it's getting better and better, because I'm not really working on much to make it. I had a couple lessons from Chris Como, which he's a really smart swing instructor, and he's #2 in the world. And he worked with Tiger, and like we went over to the range, and he's so smart, like way above me, and like the way he thinks. And yeah, he's helped me a lot. So maybe him helping me. My dad also always helps me as well.
That's really cool. I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, but it looks great to me. I'm not...
No, your swing's looking good too, though. I've seen
Oh,
you post your swing a lot.
oh,
Yours is
thanks,
looking a
dude.
lot better, like a
Oh,
lot better.
oh, wow, thank
Because it
you.
used when you, I mean, like a year ago,
Uh-huh.
or I mean, even like 8 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
it's not near as good as it is now.
Huh?
Like you've gotten a lot better. You're coming more from the inside.
Huh.
Used to come a little bit more over the
Oh, yeah.
top.
Mm-hmm.
But you've kind of got the club now back behind you a little bit, which is
Mm.
cool.
I'm saving my lesson virginity for you, Grant Horvat. I've said that before. That I've
Never got a lesson?
never had a lesson, and I will never take a lesson until I'm down in Jupiter, Florida with you. You're the only one I trust. And honestly, I appreciate your nice words there, but literally all that is the one video I watch with you and Wesley. I don't really watch golf instructional videos because like my favorite part of golf, honestly, is the fact like I grew up playing all these sports and I would always just like, I loved practice. That was my favorite part of every sport I ever played. And I love the process of practicing with golf. And I know I'm probably improving at a slower rate, but like, it doesn't matter. I play golf for fun. I don't need to be like super good, super fast. And I enjoy the process of trying to figure it out. But when I watched that video with Wesley and thinking about width in the takeaway, I think that's what changed it for me. Keeping my left arm straight and having
And also, I think it was, we really touched on, that's so cool to hear because the Wesley lesson, even the fact that Wesley was like, hey, let's do a lesson, or the fact that he's open to it, pretty close to the PGA Tour winner. I don't think I'll ever, I don't think I'm going to be teaching too many PGA Tour winners. But I don't want to ever. I even actually was just with Akshay. We were just talking about putting. So it's cool to even like be able to help these guys out if I am. But yeah, Wesley's lesson, that's cool to hear because I feel like it's very universal for everybody out there watching. Just because like getting the hands deeper at the top, it's up so high, like Wesley's hands were up here. We were trying to get him a little bit more deeper, a little flatter at the top. There's a lot of ways to describe that, but that just gives him the ability to shallow out and get to the inside a lot easier than rerouting it. So someone like Justin Thomas, whose hands are up here, he has to really work hard to get the club behind him. But like I said, if you're out there on the range working on getting deeper, you'll probably start to get to the inside of the ball a lot easier. Drop the hands, start hitting a draw.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool, man. I don't like instructional content too much because sometimes I'm like, well, I don't know if I have that problem, but that was a very like widely applicable. Like I just felt like you could just feel whether you're doing that or not. And I'm like, this is just a general swing mechanic that's like a good thing to have in your swing and everyone needs it. So that was cool. And I thought you did a good job of communicating it. How has the teaching channel been starting that up?
Yeah, that's been awesome. Honestly, it shocked me how quick it grew because we haven't like right now, like we have obviously Christmas coming up and we're super, super busy with family. So we're behind on that channel. But like the fact that people are showing so much interest in it, we're almost at 80,000 subscribers and we've only uploaded, I don't even know how many videos, 8 videos. It's been pretty crazy and like super cool to see people watching the videos. And I've also used that channel. I mean, honestly, it's been a channel that's almost like a test channel for me. And it's kind of crazy to say that, but it's been one where I've really tried to explore different thumbnails and ideas. And I like to see how they do over the long run. Because yeah, it's been very interesting. Like my face in the thumbnail versus having my face not in the thumbnail, and then seeing the longevity of the thumbnail and how it does over a long span of time. It's been interesting because I will really study the analytics on that channel and just see how the different thumbnails perform. And that channel, it's not like the main channel. The main channel there's way more but like the teaching, like we get creative. We throw stuff together to see if it does well. We'll flip it in and out and see if it picks up. Just do a bunch of different things, testing.
You and me are going to have a really fun conversation after we're done recording on analytics and titles and thumbnails, but I know I'll lose too many people if we go on too long.
Yeah, that's true. We could talk way too long on that. So.
But I do want to ask you, man, in the YouTube golf space right now, you talked about that one channel, but who do you see kind of on the come up? Who's a channel or individuals that have caught your eye this year? I know you got your nose to the ground. I know I recently interviewed Carter, DOD, and I've been very pleasantly surprised this year how he's transitioned from short form to YouTube. and how he's kind of taking advantage of the opportunities he has there. And it's been cool to watch him. And I think, you know, if he keeps working, he can develop. But who's a couple channels you have on your radar right now?
Yeah, so yeah, you mentioned Carter. Yeah, Carter and I play on the same golf team. I think a lot of people probably know that because I've said that like multiple times. But um, he's been, yeah, it's crazy. You know, he's transitioned over to YouTube pretty well. He's pretty polarizing, those things that Carter says. So it does drive a lot of engagement.
Mhm.
Every video he's in, it does drive a lot of engagement. I think, we talk a lot, and I try and give him advice,
Mhm.
and I think he's doing a good job. But I would say like, yeah, I think the YouTube golf space, there's probably like five at the people that pull most of all the views.
Mhm.
And I think there's like, it's very, very niche.
Mhm.
But I will say the one person that has like come up that I just have really watched is like Busted Jack. I think Mason and Cole, I've become really close with Mason and Cole. They're two of the nicest guys.
Mhm.
Um, I think that they've just like broken into the space so well.
Mhm.
And it's not easy. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many people that want to get into YouTube right now. I'm like, if you don't have a niche, like, I just don't know how you separate yourself.
Mhm.
Like if you find something that no one else is doing and it works, like thrifting or do something so unique or food reviews, I don't even know.
Mhm.
You might have a really good chance. I'm not discouraging anyone out there, but I'm just like, I try and be as real about that stuff as I can because it's just there's so much content going up and it's hard to break into it. Busted Jack has what I respect so much about them is they've taken the 50 states in
Mhm.
50 days and they've stuck to that.
Mhm.
And it was something different than everybody else was doing.
Mhm.
And like now they're doing the continents and, like it's just cool to see that them actually going a different path and not just doing, matches and the
Mhm.
same old stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think that out of everybody that I've really seen break in and just really grind hard on YouTube, I think Busted Jack. And then like the Bryan Bros have been around for a long time, but they got so hot with their content.
Mhm.
They're not really breaking in, but they're just people love watching George and Wesley, and that's
Mhm.
really cool. Wow.
It's super cool to hear you say that, man. Because yeah, like you probably get it too, but I'm obviously my following is much smaller, so I see it, and I probably hop on like 4 or 5 calls a week with like people who want to start YouTube channels or people who have a couple thousand subscribers, starting golf channels specifically. And so like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there are.
Your mic.
Oh, sorry, dude. I'm recording
It's hitting.
separate audio, so they won't hear it. But I'll try to keep it from annoying you.
It's just hitting. I think it's hitting that zipper
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Okay. Well, yeah, they
people are
won't hear
gonna
that,
lose
so
their
it's all
mind.
good. Anyways, I think it's the biggest piece of advice I always give to all of them is like you have to come up with what you're gonna do different because it's like if Rick Shiels posted Break 75 video and Grant Horvat posted a video at Spyglass Hill and GM Golf posted a match and whatever. That's 4.5 hours likely of YouTube golf content, right? Of playing content. So how are you then going to convince people who don't have 4.5 hours to take time out of those established creators' videos and watch yours? And it's by doing something
Right.
different. It's by providing something that's uniquely interesting. And I think Carter is an interesting example. And I'd love to hear your take on his kind of like WWE style approach to it, where he does create that polarization. He's come into YouTube golf as this villain character, but like I firmly 100% believe that if he didn't have that villain persona, he would not have the success on the platform he's having right now. It's because he's doing something different and he's offering something unique that, that polarization, love him or hate him, you're clicking on the video either way. What do you think about that kind of approach? And then what do you think is something that could be done in the YouTube golf space for those up and coming creators that isn't currently being done?
Yeah, I think Carter, yes, for sure. I think the engagement is driven from people, a lot of people disliking it, disliking him. And it's funny because he's such a cool guy and he definitely amps it up for that. And but he loves it. Like he loves
Mhm.
the people hating. And I think, yeah, I definitely think that that's helped along the way. I've kind of encouraged him. He did a video with Micah I've just encouraged him to like make sure you're collabing with people that are definitely going to help you out and
Mhm.
add value to your channel. Um, because he's done like I don't know, I think he's done a series where he's like going around with DoD queens or
Mhm.
something. But I've just really encouraged him to make sure he's like filming with people that are helping him out a lot.
Mhm.
And I think he will. But what was the other question?
What do you think is an idea for up and coming creators of something they could focus on in the golf space that isn't currently being done? A way to stand out and be unique.
That's hard.
It
I
is,
mean,
I know. I say all the time, I'm like, if I knew the answer, I'd just
because
be doing
you're
it right now.
yeah, because you're confined to golf.
Yep.
Like you're confined to the limits of golf. So there is a point in which almost every idea or concept can almost be done,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to think about. It's just like fishing videos, for
Mm-hmm.
example. You can
Mm-hmm.
catch every fish, and then once you catch every fish, then it's spin-offs of how you're catching that fish or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, so yeah, I think maybe like going to golf courses and it being, food reviews or something at a
Mm-hmm.
golf course, like
Mm-hmm.
going to the most expensive courses and you're just reviewing food and then playing golf or something like so out there because like there's that one channel that all they do is go to thrift stores
Okay.
and um Rick did a video with them.
Okay.
They only go to thrift stores and just record like everything they're getting from the thrift store, all the buys they're making, and it's all golf clubs.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
golf related. Um, and they've created such a little niche it's like the people watch it and it
Mm-hmm.
works,
Mm-hmm.
which is mind blowing to see. It's like that's crazy that works so well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's hard. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're confined to golf, so there's only so many. But if there's any, I mean, there's gotta be. Like if you really sat down and thought about it, there could be either a series or an idea or something that's not done yet,
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. Okay, let's transition into the personal because you've definitely had some massive things happen. You moved to Florida. So first of all, how's that been? How's the move back to Florida been, being close to your family, having that nice weather all year round that I'm very jealous of right now to play golf in? How's being
Yeah.
back in Florida been?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Being close to the family is great. Also living, me and Micah lived together for a year, and getting close. Me and Micah have gotten really close. He's such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I also, yeah, it's crazy to watch like Micah and like I see just getting like a lot of hate on the internet and like me just being his friend. It's like I don't understand it. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
he's the nicest person when you sit down and get to talk with him and like he's just very competitive and takes it, that's just how a lot of people are though. And like I'm competitive. I just show it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been really cool just being around Micah a lot as well and his wife Katie. We've gotten really close. My wife Sadie and her are really close friends. So yeah, that's been awesome, and just being in Jupiter because I think right now, like I've said it, I think everybody's going to be moving here. Bob's already on the way.
Mm-hmm.
FP and Joey, they're going to be living down the street from me,
Oh, cool.
so that's pretty cool. Like I play with Bob a lot actually
Yeah.
off camp. Like Bob and I have gotten pretty close, like really close actually. Like we text a lot and we'll play when he's in town. Me and Bob will always go play off camera. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't even film it a lot of the times. And we'll go play pickleball. We played pickleball like the last time he was here. It was so fun. But that's been really cool. And like I just think this area is just gonna be like a golf YouTuber area, just this southern Florida area. Um, I think everybody's gonna transition. So yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, it's funny because I grew up right down the street from here,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like I'm like, no, like, I don't want it to be so busy. Like, it's getting so busy in
Yeah.
Jupiter.
Yep.
All the pro golfers live here as well, so it's turning into like a huge area. But yeah, it's great being close to family and also just getting closer with Mike has been awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Well, congrats on the wedding for sure. That's got to
Yeah.
be cool. I remember mine. It's a year ago, and it's cool. It's a cool moment.
Oh, it
So
was sweet. Yeah.
congrats to that. You had a very interesting wedding on the online front, though. You had a wedding that made some waves on the internet for
Yeah.
sure. it was so funny. I made the joke to Micah. I'm like, I don't know. Going into it, we were all kind of saying like red wedding vibes. Like, I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones, but like the
Yeah, yeah.
families come together and what's gonna happen. But I mean, just yeah, talk to me a little bit about that. How was all that? How was having all the guys or a lot of the guys back together? Like that was it definitely broke the internet. So did you know that was gonna happen
Yeah,
too?
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's hard because it was my wedding day, so I was like, I don't even, it was a blur. It was
Oh yeah.
so much fun.
Hmm.
Me and my wife, like, we look back at that day and we're like, it could not have gone any better.
Yeah.
Like, we truly believe that it could not have gone any better. It was so much fun.
Hmm.
We had such a great time together, me and my wife, and there's so many people there, and I feel like a lot of people that have been like had a wedding or are married, I feel like they know that that day goes by and it's almost like a blur because you're talking to so many people. There's so much going on. Um, but yeah, it was really cool. I mean, Garrett showing up was great. It was really cool to have him there. But yeah, it was just like I never had a time where all my best friends were together. Like ever, you just never. There's like
Hmm.
times in life that you just like you look around and you're like, this probably will never happen again.
Hmm.
This much family, this many friends. So to me, I was just trying to take that in the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know the social media side, there's a whole other side to that as well, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny, man. But I do remember exactly what you're saying. I had that moment too in mine where it's like, oh my goodness, like literally, unless I die, I will never be able to convince all these people to come into a room together again. Like never, because like everyone's got jobs, everyone's adults, everyone's busy. Like this is it. This is the only time I'm going to be present for it. And so, like you try to enjoy it. But yeah, it was cool to see that. It was cool to see Garrett come for sure. Did you see that TikTok he posted yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you know that was
Yeah.
coming? Was that a shock to you?
Yeah, no, I didn't know it was coming. But no, we definitely, yeah, I'm excited about the future. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
All
I
right.
think
All right.
I think we got some cool stuff, but yeah, it was cool to see him post that on
Hmm.
TikTok. I saw that actually last evening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, I woke up to it sent to me like 4 billion times. I was like, wow, it's great. I'm interviewing Grant today, so I can ask him about it directly. But
Yeah, it was good timing, right?
yeah, it was good timing. Those things kind of keep happening. Like I had the mic interview scheduled for like 2 days after your wedding. I didn't even know the Garrett thing was happening. I was like, well, this works out really well for me.
Yeah, need to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that's interesting, man. How is it? Because it's been a year now, and I'm sure you've had time to reflect on the decision to obviously leave Good and to go out on your own and to see the success that you've had. But like, success is one thing. I think for you, probably internally, the lifestyle factors and all the other things and the business and whatever, those are probably the things that really hit the most. How has the last year been? And I'm sure I know the answer to this question, but would you say you're happy still with your decision to have left the group and go out on your own?
Yeah, I think so. The last year has just it's been crazy. I think I've said this a lot, but like when you do go out on your own, you take a huge risk. Um, and I think I'm really happy with where we're at, and that's all I can ask for. I
Mhm.
feel like growth is a huge thing in the space, and I just feel very, very lucky, and I'm very happy because I did have the vision, and I did have the self-belief in myself, that I could do it, and I was very confident in it, and for it to actually work out and everything and be in the position that I'm in now is I'm super grateful for, and it doesn't feel real. Like every day you get to wake up, you get to film golf videos, and I feel like as long as I maintain that and like just be super grateful for everything and just the rest will take its course, and I can't control it's this there's too much changing. Like YouTube
Mhm.
golf will be gone tomorrow. Like
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm just happy to be where I'm at. And while during this time I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can, and I'm very motivated. And like Skylar and I talked about it the other day, we are like, what's our goals, like what do we want to do with the channel? And he like asked me, he was like asking me a lot of like hard questions, and I was just like, I just want to I do have a vision to just someday, my goal is to just be as big as I possibly can.
Mhm.
And I just love doing it. So
Mhm.
it's not like it's work to me
Mhm.
because I love it. So, um, just going to keep grinding and do the next big idea and keep really pushing the pedal down.
That's awesome. The next big idea, the golden egg you guys are holding, I'm very excited for. Well, I know that was teased, like I said, last night. And it's just cool. I think it's cool to see those relationships kind of coming back a little bit. How has that been? Like, I don't know. I know it's personal. You don't have to share whatever you don't want to, but like, I feel like maybe there's obviously a little bit of hurt feelings kind of at the beginning and the relationships might have been soured. But I think for the greater good of the community and even you guys as individuals being able to collaborate and stuff, your relationship with those guys, has it kind of come back together nicely now? And you guys are kind of able, do you think, to move forward with potential stuff in the next little bit?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think, like you said, like there's a lot of emotions with everything, with every decision you make. You know, I just feel like as times progress, I feel like we have had to pull ourselves out of it and be like, hey, you know, there's going to be a time where it's like there's content and then there's emotions and there's all these, and like, you know, we gotta I feel like those are very different. Like, you know, I support everything that they're doing. I talk to Garrett a lot. And it's just hard because like no one knows like all the insights, and we're just in an interesting position with what we do for a living because it's all broadcasting. So yeah, I'm super excited for, you know, what's to come with that. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Yeah. We get it. You're gonna break the internet. Yeah, we got it. You got the biggest video ever. I know. I'm very excited to see that come to fruition because again, I think even just in the sense of like, yeah, it's gonna be cool to see that, and it's gonna be cool for you guys to have these massive videos when and if you do come back together. But I think just like I'd love to get your take on the YouTube golf tournament side of things, and like, do you think that is an evolution of the space, being able to have all these top creators coming together in tournaments, in events, or do you think the individual channels and kind of channel-based collaborations are really the future of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, like, aside from the just YouTube golf videos, there's so much that I also talk with my managers and also with like, you know, all the other creators. It's like we sit down and also just like brainstorm the next big thing, even outside the space. It kind of it involves the space, but it's also like a separate, like tournaments would be like you're making content around it, but you're also bringing the community together. And there's so many possible avenues to go with that. So I think there will be like an evolution of, I think everybody will get together. I think it's very difficult, especially with like Rick being over in the UK. You know, there's certain, you know, things that are in the way, but yeah, I think there's going to be an evolution of us all getting together. And like, I love, you know, fan meetups were so fun, getting everybody there that watched the content. Cause like, you don't really, see a lot of the people that watch the videos. I mean, you do out in the public, but it's not as like you just see views and you just look at a screen. It's like when you have to actually meet people and talk, and that's my favorite. Like I love meeting people and talking like them coming up and, you know, reciting a video, and it's just like, it makes sense to me. But that to me is so cool because I'm like, you know, I love doing this and like I love talking about it. So when people come up and like we're talking about it, it's like I love it. And they feel like they're bothering me. And I'm like, no, like I love doing this, man. Like you're not bothering me. And so that to me, whatever that evolution is, I like to meet the people that watch the video. So as long as the people that are watching this content, whether while they're watching this podcast between you and I, or they're watching my videos or anybody's, like meeting those people and having them involved is the most important thing to me. It's not really even about the creators. I feel like it's more about the people that watch their content, having them involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're everything. Without them, we don't have jobs. So like it's important for sure. And I think one clip from that Foreplay podcast, when they asked you kind of what's like a bold prediction, and you mentioned the growth of YouTube golf and it being on the level of a major tour. I think that's what we're all sort of hoping for, you know, and I think a lot of people believe in that.
Yeah, that was a bold statement at the time. Saying like, I think YouTube golf is going to be the next huge platform, and like it is going to overtake the PGA Tour and Live. Like I know I said that, and like I said I could be wrong. Like I made that very clear on the podcast.
Yeah,
like, I'm not just saying that with utter confidence. But um, now just looking at like the Live and PGA Tour situation, it being so divided,
Yep.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, dang, this could actually, everyone's in the comments. They didn't like that statement that I made. And I saw that. I was like, whoa, because I don't make like really bold statements like that. I was like, what the heck? Now looking back at it though, I'm kind of feeling myself in that comment a little bit. Like, I think Live, like John Rahm going to Live, and then the division that's going to create, and then now like we're golf's in a weird spot, and I'm happy where YouTube golf's at. That's all I can control, and like uh, I'm just happy where it's at, and I think we have it in our fingertips to like make it very, very big, and like Bryson really turning to it, and like Bryson's even come up to me and talked so highly about YouTube golf, and it's like it's cool to even hear him talk about it. And like Akshay just started his channel, so we filmed for his channel the other day. We did a video for him, like a scramble, and like he's a PGA Tour winner, PGA Tour player, and he's doing YouTube videos because it's like they're now seeing the value of some of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And dude, I think it's a perfectly fine statement and prediction for you to make, because it's like, it's the same analogy of like every player below, between 50 to 100 world ranking points on tour, they all believe they're the best player in the world. And if they don't believe they're the best player in the world, they have no ability to become the best player in the world. So us believing in the future of YouTube golf, of course, like it's our full pursuit. It's what we do. And if we didn't believe in it, then we wouldn't, the way we do, then we wouldn't have the jobs we have, or we wouldn't be putting time into it.
You're right. And I'm always going to be real about like, there's a clear division between YouTube golf and PGA Tour golf. That will never be the same. It just can't, we're not pros. But I do think from a viewership, just a sole viewership perspective, it can really compete with the viewership of the PGA Tour and Live. And like, it probably gets way more views than Live.
Way more.
Like it probably does. Like, I don't know. I don't know any of the viewership numbers, but I would say like, I think I've seen some breakdowns on TikTok of like this one guy doing it, and he was showing the viewership on YouTube versus Live versus the PGA Tour. And yeah, it's just like, it's very, very neck and neck. It's pretty close, which is crazy.
It is, man. It is. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on, man. I think it's been so cool to recap the last year, and I want to talk now just a little bit before we go about the year coming. If there's anything you want to tease or share, or any plans you have, anything you can kind of let us in on for what's coming up in 2024.
2024, man. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think always, coming out with the next big idea requires a degree of like doing something very, very maybe disruptive. And I don't mean that in like a negative way, but like you got to be doing stuff that's like kind of shocking. And I feel like we do have some pretty big things coming up. Like it's just hard to like, touch on it all, but I'm really excited for it. Got some like big collabs coming up. Like I said, the Nelly Korda match, the Tommy Fleetwood, the Colin Morikawa, those coming out in the next month or two is like that already to me coming out at the beginning of the new year is crazy. And I'm really happy to post those. And that's really like what we have on deck right now. The rest is like, hopefully it happens. But yeah, those 3 videos, I'm like, we're coming out. I'm feeling confident with those to start the new year. And I couldn't be more excited about that.
That's sweet, man. Well, congratulations on the last year. I think you very efficiently and well placed yourself from being a part of one of the biggest entities in YouTube golf to being individually one of the biggest entities in YouTube golf. And I give you your flowers for that, man. It's been awesome to watch that journey. And I think you are a great conduit for our community. And I definitely wish you and your channel nothing but the best.
Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it.
Cool, man.